Hey everyone, Luke here, and as you know from what I've been saying in the live streams and in the past videos, this week will be the final chapter of Mission Yozakura for 2 weeks. Yes, next week we're on break because Shonen Jump is on Golden Week, which, yeah, it's very appropriate because they deserve a break, all these authors, particularly Black Clover's author. Shout outs to him, the Black Clover author. He's done, he deserves a little break because, as you all know, Black Clover's gone on hiatus for a minimum of 3 months when he prepares out the final arc. So, yeah, that's something to look forward to, and the Black Clover chapter this week was incredible. I've got credit where credit's due, it was my chapter of the week. So, yeah, scary, a Black Clover chapter being a Mission Yozakura chapter for me. Mind you, if it was with Dr. Stone, if Dr. Stone was still going, I don't know if it would actually beat Dr. Stone, but it would have been very close. But yeah, speaking of Dr. Stone, that's a perfect transition. So next week at some point, whenever that'll be, I'll be doing, I'll be starting my, back catalogue on the Dr. Stone chapter. So I'm not sure if I'll do chapters 1 and 2 next week. I might just do chapter 1 because I want a little bit of break as well. Chapter 1 of Dr. Stone is like 3 chapters in one already automatically because of how long it is usually with the first chapters. And also on the live streams, me and Pie Jams, we have been discussing, like we said on the live stream yesterday, about what we want to do, and there are a few things that I want to talk about in sort of like a filler stream, particularly Sonic and the Hedgehog. We both definitely want to talk about that, and also a few series that I personally want to talk about. Like, there's one I'm looking at right now, there's a Demon Lord on the Floor. That's one I definitely want to give a high recommendation to, because I did a video recommending it beforehand. I want to do like another recommendation on it. So yeah, that'll be something to look forward to. And also a few little things, like we might talk about some news things, we just never know. It'll just be whatever we fancy talking about. But yeah, for now, let's just dive right into this Mission Yozakura chapter. Okay, so this will be chapter 127, titled Idiot. Okay. I may have made some mistakes in the past. I may have gotten some theories wrong, but hey, I'm not an idiot. I'm not an idiot. I mean, I can remember stuff from Dr. Stone that's really unimaginative and really who cares about, but when it comes up and people are like confused about it and they're like, oh, okay, that makes sense, but come on, calling me an idiot, that's a little bit of a stretch. Okay, all jokes aside, the idiot is obviously in reference to Koichiro, because of the fact that, yeah, he thought he could do this mission on his own without getting his family involved. I mean, Koichiro, you are a smart guy, but even I have to admit, like, yeah, this was a pretty idiotic move, because you should have known that despite you saying, like, yeah, don't follow me, I'm gonna do this myself, they were gonna follow you. Like, you should have known that by now, but I digress. We'll just start on the chapter itself. So yeah, picking up right from where the last one ended, with Koichiro being hugged by Tayo, and Sky said, if you're watching this, we're still not going to get the Tayo Koichiro fanfiction. So, you might, like, okay, for people who watch this and want some context, on the live stream yesterday, you can go and watch it, or whenever you watch this live stream, yesterday, live stream 2 days ago, yeah, we were talking about this, and Sky said, one of the regular commenters on the live streams, he talked about, like, yeah, talked about Koichiro x Tayo fanfiction. I'm like, mate, we don't want that. Okay, we get enough of that with Koichiro's Steel Spider wrapping Tayo up in a very suggestive poem. Like, okay, I'm gonna stop now. Because that, now that I've mentioned that, there's gonna be like some crazy fanfiction out there. But anyway, continuing on with the Okay, serious. This is serious. We're talking about a brother hugging a brother-in-law with some steel spike that can be used in. But oh, come on! Okay, in all seriousness, let's talk about it proper. So we have Tayu struggling. Come on, talking about fanfiction, like in a, but I go struggling. Come on. Oh, okay. Tayo is. I can't even say it without him coming up with something for a fan fiction here. Okay, Tayo's abilities negates the abilities of the poison blooming flowers. Okay, we're past that part. We're finally past that. We're finally past that first page now. Okay, it took me like nearly 5 minutes just to get out past that one page. I never thought that would happen. As we see an explosion. Okay, do not make it. Anybody watching this, do not make any suggestions with what I'm about to say. Okay, the abilities from both of them collide. Don't make it. Causing a explosion of light that is so massive that it blasts away. Like a shockwave, and Shinzo and Nano have to keep a rock steady because it was like gonna fall on the other members of the Yozakura family. Okay, we finally got past that point. That fanfiction idea that we were talking about, Pie Jams, you're gonna watch this, and I know what you're gonna be saying. You're probably gonna be laughing and being like, how did you not get past that? Like, I don't know, man. But anyway, we can finally talk about the chapter proper. So yeah, we have the siblings being worried about Koricho and Tayo, as Futaba is saying like, oh, the black flowers are disappearing, and we have Shion saying, oh yeah, Tayo's Simonia activate increases and Koricho's fighters become more stable. The poison isn't spreading, and it's clearly dissipating. Now, with this, I kind of had the theory of that because of this ability that Tayo and Koricho might be more connected now. Okay, yeah, this is where we got the whole idea of the fan fiction from. This idea of, like, my theory of that, because Tayo's Simonia nullified the effects of the poison, it might have also made it so that if Koricho dies, Tayo dies as well, so they're both connected like that, which would actually add some tension to the entire series now. If like one of them gets injured, the other gets injured. So that would be kind of interesting if that's the case that we actually go down. Now, Pyjams doesn't kind of agree with it, and I can understand why. And yeah, it's just a crazy fan theory, but it's something that could potentially happen. So yeah. Shion doesn't even understand how this is actually working, but she comes to the realization, Tayo is basically purifying the black poison. So Shion has no idea, like, what this ability actually is. Is it related to something outside of the Yozakura? Like, the fact that Shion doesn't even understand it, and even Koricho, like I've been saying, doesn't understand it, goes to show that, there's something else going on. And particularly when okay, you've obviously read chapter, particularly when Momo comes in at the end of the chapter, it's kind of being like, there is something going on, and Momo's going to have to do a whole lot of explaining himself. So yeah, we continue on after the whole purifying of the poison happens. Now, it says it isn't spreading now, but it could, like I've been saying in the last few chats, it could very, very clearly be a possibility that it might actually spread away from Koricho's body and out into the open air, and maybe the other Yozakuras might get affected by it. That's a theory that I've been going off, which could potentially still happen. But yeah, a lot of this chapter is just mainly reaction shots from everyone. So not a lot in terms of dialogue. Like I said, most just reactions. And even though the art is incredible, there's not really much to talk about, because you just see Koricho just like, there's like a rumbling happening around him, but then smoke starts to dissipate off him as the poison completely disappears. So the poison is off Koricho, and they're still all questioning like how this is actually working. So Momo is gonna have to do some explaining. Like I said, he's gonna be able to, like, I suppose you all want to know why Tayo Simone actually purified Koricho, the poison on Koricho, rather than it actually affects him. And Yeah, we all want to know that, Momo. But yeah, Tayo's like, ah, Karicho. So it's just like, ah, you are safe. You are saved. You are saved. And Karicho is just not saying anything at this point. He's just like staring, just like is uh, clear, clear like natural reaction. Like you just don't know if he's like thankful or it's just like, "Ah, I didn't want you to save me, but you've saved me now, so like you just can't tell with Karicho. That's what makes him, despite what in initial outward appearances were for Karicho at the beginning of the series, this is what makes him like one of the more fascinating characters. Like you can't quite pinpoint like what he's actually thinking of at the time, and that just makes him so fascinating to actually follow. But of course, Futaba. Futaba being Futaba walks up to both Tayu and Karicho and adequately and appropriately gives him a slap. And yeah, he knew, yeah, if he was going to be saved, this would actually happen. Now a lot of people will be like Pajam said in the stream, like, oh, oh, how can you defend this with Karicho, but not defend Black Clover, because Black Clover doesn't kill off its characters, and Mission Yozakura doesn't isn't doing it as well. Yes, that is true, but the reason why I feel like this works, whereas in Black Clover it doesn't, is because in Black Clover it's not in Mission Yozakura family, they're not just like, oh my god, Karicho's dead. Oh, not to worry, we've got this drug that can save him. Like it's not like a false out, because it's happening in real time. Like there's still that tension that happens. Like you just don't know if we just didn't know if Karicho was going to survive or not, and all the death flags that were hinting at, like it was possible that he might not have survived. Whereas with Black Clover, it was very apparent a lot of the time that, yeah, these characters should not be making out of this fight. But now that we have the reveal in the last chapter, we kind of have an idea of like, okay, yeah, this kind of makes sense now. But at the same time, during that fight, we were just like, okay, come on, this is ridiculous. These characters, they're going up against the king of the underworld, Satan, basically, and yeah, they should be dying. But here, it's still like, it was still a 50-50 whether Koricho would survive or not. And hey, we might still get a death, because we just don't know what's going to happen next, because Momo might come in and be like, hey, I've got to tell you guys something, and then just get like just a stab in the back, and Kai comes out of nowhere. It's like, yes, it was me the whole time. And also, we did get some major deaths. We got the Kawashita, the doctor. He was like the main antagonist up until when Sabumi was introduced. So yeah, he was still a major death that we actually got in the series. I mean, he wasn't one of the main cast, but he was still like a major death that we knew quite a bit about. And Ai's Guardian, while not being major, we still had his importance to her character and how it's developed and matured, and she still thinks about him. So yeah, it still has an impact on one of the characters themselves. So yeah, and like I said, with this, it could have gone either way, and either way, I would have been more satisfied if Karicho died, but at the same time, because we still haven't seen his blooming. Like, that's the thing we still need to know. We need to know what Karicho's blooming actually is. So, continuing on, we have Futaba saying, like, no, Karicho, I'm not the one you should be apologising to. Yes, I would really like to beat you to a pulp right now, but now it isn't the time, because for me, it's not it for the benefit of our family. It's not me that you should be apologising to. It's Mutsumi, and we see Mutsumi arriving in their helicopter jet car thing that they have, and Karicho just gives like this sum a lot of like, oh my god, I've really blown it now, like, because you know that Mutsumi is Karicho's favourite sibling. We all know that, and the fact that he has to now apologise to his favourite sibling, it's like, oh, I'm like a dog with its tail between its legs, and there's like a lot of tension building up to this, because Mutsumi is just giving like this look of just like utter disgust on her face, like, Karicho, I can't believe you put us through this torment, like this mental torment of not wanting us to be involved in what you were being sent. You were sending yourself to your death here, and yeah, the fact that now you have to confront me after all of that. Yeah, I'm not going to be too happy on that, and she isn't too happy, because you just see her staring down at Koichi, and he's just like, what is she gonna do? Is she gonna like punch me? She's gonna slap me? But instead, she actually hugs him. Like, so we get like a tender moment here from Koichi and Mutsumi, because Mutsumi, despite being creeped out sometimes by Koichi, she still cares about him as a brother and as a sister, and despite everything, they're still family, and they still care about each other, even if sometimes they don't want to admit it. And I love Koichi's reaction here, because it's just like, oh, I didn't anticipate it. Like, you see it on his face, like he's like thinking like all the worst things that Mutsumi would do to him, and the fact that she just hugs him, it's just like, oh, actually, I didn't expect this. But in his mind, he could be thinking like, this is actually more painful than anything that I could have imagined, because I'm actually making my sister cry. I'm actually making my sister cry here. And she says, Koichi, you're just an idiot. I won't forgive you for this ever. And he's like, yeah, I know, because I was trying to protect my family, and I ignored your feelings as well. And you basically ignored the fact that, yeah, they were going to come and rescue you, even if you were just like, just stay away from me. And he almost subjugated Mutsumi to the same pain again. I'm guessing from the beginning of the series. So he's genuinely sorry to all of them for actually putting them through this situation. So I like that little bit of character development from Koichi, like showing like, yeah, he does actually care enough to be like, yeah, I was wrong to do this. I should have involved you guys soon. I should have bared it all on my own. And the fact that I put you all through this again, yeah, I'm truly sorry for that. And of course, everyone is just like, yeah, we're all accustomed to you manipulating us, Koichi, and yeah, that's all well and dandy, but you're gonna get punished. Despite the fact you've said you're sorry and we can accept your apology, you're still gonna get punished. So we get the list of punishments for Koichi, which is just hilarious, because it's like, Futama's like, okay, you're going to be my punching bag for a month when I practice my martial arts. Now I was like, okay, I'm going to develop this drug and I'm going to use it on you. Shinzo's like, oh, I'm going to use you as a mannequin for gunfire powder. And Shion's just like, okay, you're gonna be my first opponent in gaming death battles, but you're gonna lose all the time. And the funniest here is just like, Kengo bringing up a dress. It's just like dress show. So we have all the other siblings just being elaborate on their plans and everything. And Kengo just needs to say dress show and just show a dress. That's all he needs, because I can imagine someone as stern and cold and thinks of himself as like the awesome guy as Koichi, because Koichi does have an ego and he does think of himself as awesome. I can imagine him being like, yeah, I could take being a punching bag. I could take the new experiments that Nano's gonna be giving me. I could take being used as as target practice. I can take even getting my butt kicked in video games, but being a model for a dress show, yeah, I'm out of here. That's the worst thing that can happen to me. So I can imagine that's what he's thinking right now. Like it's something that would be so humiliating to someone like him. They'd be like, yeah, this is the worst out of all these punishments. And of course, it's like, Mutsumi, please save me. And Mutsumi's like, yeah, I already told you, Koichi, I won't be forgiving you. And this is where we get Tayo saying a little bit of a cliche line here, because it's like, thank goodness we can finally go back to this non-malice. And yeah, Tayo, whenever you say that something you should know that, yeah, it's not going to be easy like that. You're not out of the woods yet. You can't go back to the status quo already, which is what Vex on Control Chaos feared that would be happening. Yeah, we're not out of the woods yet, guys. So they're saying to Koichi, oh, shall we get straight into warm-up exercises? And he's like, oh, please let me write out my will and ask testimony first before we get Momo appearing, clapping. And he goes, how marvellous. I believed in all of you. I knew you'd be able to get through this. And you see him crying, and that's where the chapter ends. So, yeah. Yeah, really short chapter, a lot of just reactions and just being like, oh, Koichi, you're an idiot, but we forgive you for that. Now, the thing with Momo is like, what does he actually mean? Like, where like because he says, I believed in all of you to get through this. Like, what plan was this? Like, was this just a ploy to get them all in one location so that Tsubumi has them all under a thumb at once? We just don't actually know. And the fact that he's crying, like maybe he's like proud of his kids, but at the same time, no, there is something going on here. And Momo, like I said, has to do some explaining. They have to like ask him like, what was the Simone tile? What is that all about? And also we have to find out more about Ban and his wife as well, because his wife is a member of is one of the heads, and yet she actually hasn't done anything in here. It's an arc focusing on the heads of the Yozakura family, and yet we don't know much about the eighth head of the Yozakura family, Mutsumi's grandmother. Like, we don't know an awful lot about her at times. Like, she's been one of the more mysterious ones, I guess because she is alive and therefore she's not on Tsubumi's radars, because didn't they say that they have to be dead to be controlled by Tsubumi? But at the same time, couldn't she still take over the grandmother because she's still head of the Yozakura family? Like, we just need to know more about that. That's something we do need to. That's something that does need to be addressed. But I guess that's something we're just gonna have to wait and see, because I have no idea what Momo is actually planning here. Like, whether or not he's gonna tell them, or he's gonna be like, hey. The blooming can be activated artificially. It doesn't just have to be injected into your bloodstream, because it can be activated artificially through alternative means, such as the poison entering through somebody's entering through somebody's mouth as well. Like, he probably will give an idea of how this actual poison actually works, and why Tayo has the Samonia to actually combat it. And it's all going to come back to Kai. Like, I feel like Kai was adopted, like I said, he was adopted by one of the uncles of Mutsumi, and the kind of like out for revenge against the main branch of the Yozakura family. So if that comes to fruition, I'll be so happy, because we'll finally get more lore involving this family. Because again, like we say, like, Mutsumi's siblings, they can't be the only siblings left in the Yozakura family. There has to be more out there, but that's something we're just gonna have to wait and see. But for now, but for now, that's it for 2 weeks with Mission Yozakura family. Like I said, I'm going to be doing Dr. Stone next week, and yeah, I'll see you guys next week. But what do you know about? What do you think about this chapter? Let me know. Like, subscribe, comment, all that jazz. And this will be Lasherluke signing off. Later, guys.